All right, last video of this module. So this is video number 6 of this module. This is the big transition from uncertainty to exclusivity. You're diving in. You've made the choice. You're diving into a relationship. It was September, and there was a woman who joined our friend circle. She was cute. Oh boy, she was cute. I was attracted to her, but I was told she was just coming out of a relationship that was incredibly rough. I had entered a season of life where I was putting myself in a position to get to know her, to get a number of women. It just so happened that everyone and their mother was trying to set me up on a date. They were trying to set me up in a relationship. I did meet a number of attractive women that particular fall, but I was looking for more. Nothing was really clicking with me. Meanwhile, Angie, continued to hang out in my friend circle, and she was open and transparent about her healing journey, and I found out that we had a lot of common interests. I positioned myself, though, to be attracted to many women at this point in my life, and at New Year's that year, 6 of us got a cabin out in the Trinity Wilderness area in Northern California for the weekend. After that weekend, I started to take my attraction to Angie a little bit more seriously. Now, this wasn't a cold scenario, and what I mean is she and I knew each other on the level of friends. We weren't going out on dates one-on-one, and the level of risk was greater because if I pursued her and it got weird, then our friendship circle could have been disrupted. Many of you can relate. You might be attracted to a woman in a school or work environment where if it doesn't work out, then you're in a situation where there are social consequences. And make no mistake, those consequences are pretty intense. It can be very, very real. In fact, did you know that research suggests that when couples break up after being in a place of intimacy and then begin to see each other on a regular basis after the fact, that it can be worse than losing someone to death, right? It can be really, really hard. The grief is incredibly intense. And for those of you who have undergone this before, I'm sorry. It just sucks big time. It really does suck. So after our New Year's getaway with friends, my level of attraction grew and I questioned whether or not to pursue her. My level of uncertainty was strong. About 4 weeks later, I had to wrestle through this period of uncertainty. I was actually wrestling through this period of uncertainty at that time, which I like to call the uncertainty before the uncertainty. And the reason is because I had to express my attraction. I had not expressed my attraction, and we hadn't been out on any dates one-on-one. We were in a safe place with our group of friends. But I had to wrestle through whether or not the benefit outweighed the risk. I have a group of men that I give permission to speak into my life. Some of our conversations have been tenacious in disagreements, but our main purpose is to help each other not make dumb decisions. And I will always be grateful for these men. In my period of uncertainty before uncertainty, I relied heavily on these guys to help me make decisions leading up to my decision to pursue Angie, and their counsel was incredible. So the questions and statements from my friends were, number 1, are you able to tell if this relationship would be a rebound relationship for you, Ryan? Right? How do you know that she is in a place where she is healthy enough to do relationship? Well, Ryan, you are free, right? So they gave me permission to be powerful. Ryan, you're free. It's not our responsibility to make decisions for you, but help you to make the best decisions possible. What do you want to do? These are just a couple of the statements and questions that were posed to me during my period of uncertainty before uncertainty. Remember how I shared with you that expressing attraction with confidence can make you more attractive. That's exactly what happened between Angie and I. After Angie and I started seeing each other on a regular basis, she and I went through our periods of uncertainty after attraction, obviously. They weren't seismic by any means like Jeremy and Allison, but it was substantial enough that it caused us to sit back and evaluate whether or not we wanted to move forward in the relationship. For the next few moments, we're going to apply a number of things we've learned in this module to my relationship with Angie. Let's go back to the first video of the module and put some pieces together. In the first video, we learned our fantasy can compete with reality, right? We also learned that you are moving from many women to one. You're moving from the attraction where, hey, you're attracted to many women and you're moving into the one. And number three, your actions of pursuit matter, right? If you're uncertain, continue to do the small things to see if you find pleasure in giving her pleasure, right? Here are some of the questions to ask. Have you wrestled to put down your fantasy woman, and are you ready to know a real woman? What are your thoughts about investing in one woman right now? As you give to her on a regular basis, how does it make you feel, and does that bring a level of satisfaction? So video number 2, we learned the questions that he is asking, the questions that she is asking, preventing role reversal. Remember the role reversal of you've kind of backed off, you've gotten into that flight syndrome where you're fleeing the situation and she's pursuing you, and it gets all awkward and weird. And remember, sex and physical adjustment. Some of you use sex, pornography, and all of these different things when you fail to address the issues that are driving your uncertainty, the values versus preferences, right? Here are some of the questions to ask. Are you in the proper position? Are you in the proper position of role? Is she pursuing you and asking you if she did something wrong, or are you in a place where she is experiencing your consistency? Right? She wants to feel your consistency because we want to feel safe. We've been learning this, guys. You're learning this now. It's getting deep within you, right? Are you using sex to bond prematurely, or are you positioning yourself for a great sexual future in a relationship in a future where it's going to thrive? Video number 3, we learned fear of the magic pony, fear of sustainability, compatibility versus opposites attracting, tips to being more self-aware of what's actually going on, how mentors and friends can speak into your life. Here are some of the questions to ask. Have you realized that the only way to get to something great in a relationship is to cultivate intimacy, and are you still battling a fantasy? What have you observed to be preferential differences, and what have you observed to be value differences? Just like buying a car and making a decision to invest, what are your expectations for your emotions before making a decision like this? Video number 4, we learned healthy inconsistency, right? Well, that is preferential differences. She likes ice, she likes chocolate chip, I like cookie dough, right? Well, actually, that's kind of, she likes, fudge brownie swirl, and I like vanilla, right? Those are healthy inconsistencies. Healthy inconsistencies are value differences. She likes lying and I don't, right? Unhealthy inconsistencies, preferential and value differences. We learned this in video number 4, and here's some of the questions to ask. As you examine your own values, what do you hold to be important that you want your future partner to find important as well? Video 5, we learned about the fear cycle and the love cycle, right? The different reactions to pain. When two people can come together and love each other in the midst of pain rather than your reactions to of fear, man, it can be beautiful. It can be beautiful and be awesome. Here are some of the questions to ask. In what way does your love fight through the weirdness that you may experience in the uncertainty phase? How do you create the goal of connection in relationship? These are just some of the questions that you should be asking, or that others may be asking you during your period of uncertainty. Remember, every relationship is completely different, and I want you to realize that this phase of uncertainty is completely normal. In fact, I would say that if you don't go through a level of questioning in a relationship, that you may be in la la land. You don't want to be in la la land. You want to go in eyes wide open, y'all. And in la la land does nothing for you long term. One last thing to mention is that there are degrees of emotions that exist within the shift. Remember, whether that's seismic shift or subtle shift, and that's fine. For some, it is seismic, and others it is subtle. And it isn't necessarily dependent upon the fact that you may or may not be compatible. There are a variety of different dimensions to why people feel as strongly as they do. Just know that right now you are in a good place because you are acquiring information that is going to set you up for so much success. And if you're not in a relationship at this point, no worries at all. I am hopeful, and for the reason I am hopeful, and the reason I'm hopeful is that I've seen way too many people make great decisions in relationship and be set up for massive success. I think you're ready. You've experienced the second module, exploring a fit, wrestling through uncertainty. Let's move on over into the next module, commitment, powerful exclusivity. Bam, bam, bam. You all are rock stars. And you made it through module 3, and I will see you in module 4. Commitment, powerful, powerful exclusivity. All right, y'all. Peace.